Parker, long three, got it!
There goes Davis!
Oh my God!
Davis is going to run it all the way back! Auburn's going to win the football game! Auburn's going to win the football game!
You are now immersed in the Auburn Unfiltered podcast. Listen in each week where we talk unbiased, real, in-your-face conversation about Auburn sports and other topics from time to time. Now here to present your host, Darrell Rich.
What's up, everyone? Auburn family, college football world. I'm your host, Darrell Rich from Auburn Unfiltered, where we talk unbiased, real, honest, in-your-face conversation about Auburn sports and other topics from time to time. And here today, we're discussing Kobehudson, who now stands at the realm of possibility, a path, an open door, a gateway. Will he be able to take that next step? Because it's important for whatever he decides, because the Auburn Tigers season potentially hangs in the balance. Bo Nix's comments at SEC Media Days set the stage for the season and its expectations, its hopes, its shortcomings, and its possibilities. And one of the plots to Auburn's script he noted was their wide receiving core. He brought up the experience at wide receiver being the hypothetical that only could be answered by the games played on Auburn's season. And off to the season we go. Fans ready, the college football world is ready to see what this one moment in time really meant. And as the season was underway, Bo Nix's concerns became a reality. Being at the SEC's worst with 23 dropped passes, the Auburn Tigers suffered mightily because of it, with losing to Penn State, having a nail-biter against Georgia State, and then being what Georgia needed to deal the final blow as their undefeated season continued on as they defeated the Auburn Tigers 34-10. Self-infliction, a chink in the armor, battle wounds that are in need of healing if the battle can continue on. So Auburn's head coach Brian Hudson fires Cornelius Williams, their wide receiver coach, a price only worth and how the product is deemed in the future. Which brings to full circle the topic of this video. Can Kobehudson be the best receiver at Auburn? It's not for us to decide, it's only for him. For the moment, Kobehudson has 23 receptions for 296 yards in 7 games played, averaging 13.5 yards a catch with 1 touchdown. Now, most people would want to point out the elephant in the room and note Demetrius Robertson, who has 23 receptions for 312 yards in 7 games played, averaging 13.6 yards a catch with 3 touchdowns, or a Cedric Jackson, who has 21 receptions for 271 yards in 7 games played, averaging 12.9 yards a catch with 1 touchdown, and you will have a point. But it's a bigger reason to why I state this. Demetrius Robertson is the lead guy. Cedric Jackson can be the lead guy. He's shown potential as well, like a Javaris Johnson, a Malcolm Johnson Jr., a Xavier Capers, and moving further along, Elijah Canyon, Haley Newton as well, etc. But when looking at the future for Auburn's program, Demetrius Robertson will most likely be gone after this season. Cedric Jackson will most likely be gone after this season, and Haley Newton will most likely be gone after this season. And what will you have left will be a Kobehudson, Elijah Canyon, Xavier Capers, a Javaris Johnson, and a Malcolm Johnson Jr., etc. Auburn needs a receiver to be a bridge for the future going forward. And when you take away Kaylen Newton, a Cedric Jackson, a Demetrius Robertson, the only guy that looks the part at the moment is Kobehudson, especially when you look at his receptions, receiving yards, etc. Now, it's not a knock on the other receivers, because here's another thing to look at when given this situation. When looking at the stats, it reveals something quite glaring, and that is, given the yardage each receiver at Auburn has at the moment, it's not a track race where it's just someone running circles around the competition. It's more a marathon where the finish line, or in this case, the end of Auburn's season, will really determine who stood the test. And a lot of people can take that however they want to, but I take it as something quite revelatory, exciting, and something you need to keep your eye on. Even with my thoughts on Kobehudson, the stats show that the football, in a way, is getting distributed evenly, which is a compliment to Brian Hudson and his coaching staff and Bo Nix. It's not like Devontae Smith, where he had almost 1,000 yards more than his other compadres or companions, which isn't a bad thing at all. But given a season in college football, it's kind of like the meta to have that number one guy. But given where I'm seeing college football is heading, you are starting to see a duo, a trio of wide receivers all dominate, which hints to Alabama with a Devontae Smith, a Jerry Jeudy, a Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, etc., or a Ohio State with a Chris Olave and a Garrett Wilson, or a LSU with a Jamar Chase and a Justin Jefferson. And that is really, really, really dangerous going forward, because for an opposing defense, who will you be able to key on? So with Auburn, could this be the case where we have a myriad of wide receivers that can all dominate and can at any moment handle another one's lightweight? Like, you guys just don't know what we may have buried beneath the surface with this one. Like, this has the makings of becoming something really special. And what a sight that will be. But I believe it's time to wrap up this episode for today, you guys. So for the Auburn family, college football family, sports family, I hope the rest of you guys' day goes great. What are you guys' questions, comments, concerns? Feel free to leave your comments down in the comment section below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share if you want. God bless. And always, War Eagle.